Today's episode of The Sit Down with Scott Dion Brown is brought to you by Jennifer C. at HomeLifeCultureLink.com, Nino Simeka at MortgageGodfather.ca, and Jewelry Forever at JewelryForever.ca. Enjoy the show.
Broadcasting live from Glenmore Record Studios in Toronto, this is The Sit Down with Scott Dion Brown, your Sunday morning talk show with interesting guests, live musical performances, and the most fun you can fit in your coffee cup. Hosted by Scott Dion Brown and Regine Alaina, this is The Sit Down with Scott Dion Brown.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 131, I think, of The Sit Down with Scott Dion Brown. It's a beautiful sunny day here in the city of Toronto. I think we're in the 20s, 20 degrees Celsius, I think. Or it's supposed to go that warm. So summer's on the horizon, ladies and gentlemen. And I am celebrating with a cup of coffee. Hi, I am your host, the one, the only, Scott Dion Brown, and I am joined, as always, by the greatest co-host in all the galaxy, the one, the only,
Regine Alaina. Happy Sunday, everyone. Yes, Scott, you got it right the first time. 131 episodes, and I didn't realize you were going back to being the weatherman today.
Yeah, you know why? Because I'm actually happy that it's finally, you know, we're starting to get out of this phase where you have to wear a jacket all the time, and you got to wear a scarf, and like, you know, I like winter, and I like weather, you know, for winter sports and things, and fall is my favorite season. But once you get to a certain point, it's just nice to be able to just go out there in a t-shirt and just feel the warmth. You know?
Yeah, you know it's hot outside, or it's finally getting to spring, because this is still our spring, when our Canadian spring has ended, you know, where people are not sure if they have to wear their jackets. So the top part is a sweater and the bottom part are shorts. We're finally out of that phase, hopefully. Exactly.
Things are like a little bit more, predictable, I guess. Predictable. You know, it's just nice. It's just nice. How was your week, Regine?
My week's been pretty crazy. There's a lot of changes coming to Galaxy. That's all I can say for now. If people are interested or curious to what I mean by that, stay tuned till noon to check my Instagram. All
right. Yeah, you've got some. Yeah, that's right. You do have some news coming. Big news, actually, in a lot of ways. Oh, yeah, that's coming. Who we got in the chat? Hello, good morning. My week was good. Regine, I'm noticing there's like a delay with you talking. I'm not sure what happened, but I just noticed it looks like it's not normally. Wait, say something now.
Something now.
Yeah, I'm hearing your audio like a second before I'm hearing your audio a little bit later than your video, which is a little bit weird. But it's fine. It's fine. But
do you want me to log off and log on again?
What, you want to try that? You can try that. I'll talk to the chat in the meantime.
Sure. Go talk to people. Bye.
Okay, who we got? John Jordy's here. Good morning, John Jordy. I'm new at the show. Well, welcome, John Jordy. This is our weekly talk show where we interview interesting guests, and we have a nice cup of coffee, and we just hang out and chat. John Jordy, yeah, you're also in Canada. I'm in Toronto. I am in the city of Toronto, John Jordy. So hello, fellow Canadian. Hey, Skull Plush Productions is here. Hey, Scott, I recently hit 900 subscribers. Hey, congratulations, Skull Plush Productions. 900 subs. Well done. Well done. Oh, Regine, are you back?
Yes. Is that
And
better?
yes, it is much better. Wonderful.
Woo!
Woo, 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 woo. Oh, oops. Okay. Regine, you asked me how my week was. My week was good. Actually, it was quite busy. I had to do a bunch of self-tape auditions. There were just randomly a bunch of them in a row. Yeah?
I saw you this week.
Oh, yeah. That's right. I made a quick delivery of a glorious crown that I've had in my possession since Halloween.
October.
Right? Yeah. For you guys who remember watching our Halloween episode, we were each other. Actually, those costumes look pretty good. I think the choices we made were pretty good. But I was Regine, so she lent me one of her crowns. And what's funny is there were multiple times when I was going to bring it back to you, and multiple times when I would just put it by the front door so that I would know to bring it with me. And then when I actually leave, I walk right past it. And that happened like 4 times. So.
Okay, can I just say on this show, I know I've been giving Scott a lot of ish for snipping at his hair, okay? The first thing I did was let me see your haircut.
Yeah, because you saw it in person.
Bad. It's not as bad as I was expecting it to be.
Yeah, well, I think you were expecting like I've just been like you'd see like patches and things, but no, I've been honestly I'm sitting here being like, do I ever need to get a real haircut again?
Yes, you
know
do.
I mean?
Yes, you do. It looks like you layered your hair, but it could be a little bit better, but it's not as bad as like I thought it would have looked like. Yeah,
you know why it looks like layered? Because the way I do it is like, so I'll do like, well, here I'd reach in like this, and then I would grab like a little strand like this long, and then I would just go, right, and then I'd brush it back in. And so what that does is if you do that repeatedly over like a long time, it naturally gives you layers because you're cutting like little pieces, right? So it's very rare that I'll go in and take like a straight whoosh, because I feel like then you're going to get like, you know, when they put the bowl on the head and like I don't want to, although maybe I'll do that later. That'll be
okay.
nice.
Here's a question. Are you using proper hair cutting scissors or are you using kitchen scissors?
Kitchen scissors, and not particularly sharp ones.
Oh, Lord help you.
Because we actually have a pair of kitchen scissors in the kitchen that the couple times where like if I'm watching TV and I'm like sitting there fidgeting with my hair and I'll be like, hey, this piece could go. Then I'll walk to the kitchen and I'll use those scissors. Those ones cut much better than the ones in the bathroom.
Yeah, did you switch out your scissors?
No, I mean, that's the thing. I figure we need the sharp scissors in the kitchen, you know. We need the sharp scissors.
I hope you wash them afterwards.
The kitchen scissors?
Yeah, after cutting your hair.
Well, okay. We have 2 pairs of kitchen scissors. There's one that sits in the thing where all the sharp knives are, and those we use for like food related. But the kitchen scissors we have in the drawer, those are just like general scissors. So like they're only called kitchen. In fact, we don't call them kitchen scissors. They're just scissors in the drawer. But those are used for anything. So I don't know. Do people? I mean, the only time I wash those scissors is if you like get something sticky on them or something, right? Is that accurate? Do people wash scissors regularly?
I do.
Like even like regular scissors for cutting paper? You like would cut
like if I
those,
use it for
them?
cutting my hair before I use it on anything else, yeah, I would wash them. Do you clean your brush?
I mean,
no. Okay, moving on.
I mean, sometimes you give it a good.
Gross.
I mean, the thing is, I'm only really brushing my hair when it's like clean, usually.
Okay, yeah, but anyways, let's move on because this can keep going. Someone just said Scott has been exposed. Yes, Scott, you have been exposed.
I've been exposed. Oh no. Hello, tutorial. How are you? Welcome. John Jordy. Scott, where are the glasses? Oh, I don't wear glasses. Sundays are the one stream I don't wear the glasses. I don't wear the glasses. Oh, you use a knife in the kitchen. No. I'm not saying I have knives in the kitchen as well. We're talking specifically like scissors for like. Wait, you're saying you? No, you're probably not talking about cutting your hair
Some
with a knife.
people, have you seen those like samurai haircuts? Like, whoosh?
I've seen a little bit of that on. It seems a little impractical, if I'm being completely honest.
I mean, we should try it.
Hey, could be the next
You
big
know what I
thing.
think
Maybe that
we
was a
should do?
secret.
I think what we should do for your 3,000 subscriber episode, we'll cut your hair using knives, and we'll bring on our guest to help us.
Okay, that sounds good. Oh yeah, he does. John Jordy says he does use a knife. Incredible. Okay, well, speaking of our guest, let's meet her. Ladies and gentlemen, our guest today is an actor, singer, and dancer. And gamer.
Mhm.
Yeah. Living in this city of Toronto. With the performing industry on hold due to the pandemic, she's been spending her quarantine time pursuing photography and writing an EP. She has also found a passion for learning and working towards making the arts industry more accessible to those with developmental disabilities, as she herself has ADHD. And with disabilities, once the industry returns. There we go. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm sit down welcome to Teaghan Young.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Am I?
You're on.
I'm
Yes,
on.
you
We
are.
see you. We see you.
Hi, everybody. How's it going?
Good. Welcome back to the sit down. It's been a few years since we've seen
Yeah.
you.
That's crazy. It's been like has it been 2 years since the Piolo show?
I think
Yeah,
so.
I think it is. Yeah, because you
Wow.
came on. In fact, what's funny is I remember you came on, but you weren't the full guest. You were on like promoting an event.
Yeah. Yep.
And I remember you came on and we were like, "Wow, yeah, we got to get you back on here."
Yeah,
as
literally
your own
after
guest.
our show, and you had left already with Matt, Scott and I were like, why didn't we just keep them on the whole time?
Well, I'm flattered that you guys enjoyed our little appearance that much.
Yeah.
Well, here you are now.
It was
so
We've been trying for 2 years to make it
Absolutely.
happen, but we finally
I
made it.
know. Oh my god. And it's kind of good with everything being over Zoom. It makes it so much easier to just like, you can have anybody you want because you don't have to travel. You don't have to deal with all the stuff that you'd normally have to deal with.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, that's the thing. That's right. Last time you were on, it was an in-person show, and eventually it will be again. But that has been a big change and also a benefit. I still miss the in-person interaction, but the upside was, it's a lot easier. We can get more people, and we can also get people at greater distances. So we've been interviewing people in other countries, different time zones, and people we would never be able to get unless they happen to be traveling through Toronto at the particular time. So it's definitely been nice.
Yeah, exactly.
So how have you been? What have you been up to, and how's quarantine been treating you?
Well, I'm doing pretty well, all things considered, and I would say, quarantine's been it's been up and down for sure. But I'm definitely a person who values my alone time and like I like being inside, and I like having my little space where I do my little things, and then like I'm like happy with that. I'll go out and like hang out with some friends for a little bit, but then like I this is like my recharge zone. So I feel pretty okay staying at home most of the time. But I will say, as we're nearing, what is it, like a year and 2 months into quarantine, I'm getting a little squirrely. I could go out. I could go to a restaurant or like sit in a group of people. Like that sounds nice.
That's the thing, especially because it's getting warm now.
Yeah. Oh my
And like
God.
we've been, I mean, I guess you're probably the same, but like we've been going for a lot of walks because that's kind of all you can do outside. You just go for a walk.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm the queen of going for walks in our apartment every day. I ask Matt, I'm like, do you want to go for a walk? And most of the time he's like, no. But I'm like, please, this is the only time I get to leave the house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going for a walk.
The daily walk. The daily walk.
You don't really have a choice. We're going. Let's go.
Come on. But yeah, we live in such a nice neighborhood, and there's so many little parks around, and we mostly our kind of routine is we go get a bubble tea, and then we do like a little loop kind of around our neighborhood, and then yeah, it's nice.
I want bubble tea.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have there isn't a bubble tea place near us. There are actually a lot of coffee shops around here, but I don't have a bubble tea place near me. I haven't had bubble tea in a while.
I live within walking distance of 9 bubble tea places, if you can believe it. And they're all within a 3-block radius. No, not Boba Boy. I've got the Alley, Coco, Cha Time, Ninja
got it
Tea.
all.
Like there's literally 9. I counted them because they're in like a 3-block radius.
Wow.
And it's just there's so many options.
Yeah.
So do you go to the exact same one every day, or do you try a different one every day?
I think I've tried all of them, but I will say I think my favorite is the Alley. They have the best tapioca. It's just like it's super fresh. Like sometimes when you like have tapioca and sometimes it's like not cooked all the way through. It's a little crunchy on the inside.
Ew.
It's never like that there.
Oh no.
I have had that.
You've never got that before. It's really like whoa.
I've had that
crunch.
experience. Actually, I read something a little while ago talking about that there were a bunch of there was a massive bubble tea expansion happening, and this was actually pre-pandemic, but I do remember at the time reading that like there were a bunch of companies that were trying to make bubble tea the next thing, and there were just a whole bunch of franchises opening up. So maybe it's happening.
That's why they're all in your neighborhood.
And they
yeah, that's
one
why
area.
they're all there. Because I think this area, it's funny like saying that like bubble tea's the next thing, because I feel like bubble tea's really popular. Like I guess maybe it's just like if it's I have a friend who was like, oh, I don't like that because it's like slimy, the tapioca balls. She's like makes me feel like I'm eating an eyeball.
Yeah, I feel like it's been around for like a long time.
Yeah.
And it's definitely popular. I think what they were trying to make is like mainstream. Like they wanted to try to get in on like the coffee shop crowd. Well, it's not as like mainstream as like a Starbucks or Tim Hortons or something.
Yeah,
you know
for
what I mean?
sure.
So
it doesn't quite have the same. It's not quite the same as like getting a coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if I could pick between a tea or a bubble tea, I would pick a bubble tea.
Oh, 100%.
Like
Plain
milk tea,
is
sure.
Yeah.
I do love a nice bubble tea.
Now
I haven't had that in a long time.
I'm gonna order
maybe
one
I'll have to
after
go.
this.
You guys have to get one after this. You have to now.
I am. Thank you, Teaghan.
Bubble tea. Who we got in the chat? Oh, Do You Are Have Stupid is here. Sorry I'm late, but hello to everyone. Hello, Do You Are Have Stupid. Hello. Good morning. Good morning. Tutorial is here, and he got 52 subs today. Congratulations, Tutorial. Well done. 52 subscribers. Well done. John Jordy asks, is Teaghan a Canadian?
Yes, I am.
Yes. Yeah, she is also a Canadian.
I'm from Calgary, Alberta.
Oh, there you go.
Well, there you go.
So there you go. I think John Jordy said he's also in Canada. So yes, all three of us are in Canada there, John Jordy. Hello. Oh, Tutorial says a hairstylist decided to cut someone's hair using only fire. Actually, have you seen that? I think I've seen some of those heat
Yeah, I've seen that video.
Yeah. And then he says, and somehow did really well, and he kept doing it until the place burned down. Is that true?
Oh, shoot. What? I don't know.
I mean, then in that case, in the end, it didn't go very well.
I know people who have like burnt their split ends, but I don't know. I would not do that. I'm not about letting my face on fire because of it.
So I wonder if maybe that's what it was, is that they cut it in such a way that they're using fire to and it removes all the split ends or whatever. But then I guess
it seems like a bad idea.
If the place burned down, then you're right. It's probably not the best idea.
They probably didn't put enough heat protectant on their hair.
Yeah.
Or their
That's
walls.
probably it. Yeah,
Or their
they didn't fireproof the place.
Yeah.
Maybe that would be like better suited for like an outdoor type of situation.
But then we'd have forest fires.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe we don't cut hair.
We don't do that.
With fire.
Yeah,
Oh, you guys were. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, you guys were talking about cutting hair earlier, and I also gave myself a quarantine haircut, and I cut mine with my fabric shears.
Those are fabric shears
I mean-
sharp? Those are sharp, aren't they?
They're really sharp, but they're meant for fabric, and they're really chunky. Like I like see them right there. They're like really big, and I just woke up one day and I was like, I want a middle part, and I want it right now, and I don't have time to wait just to do it. So I like cut my hair in my bathroom and was like, I have no idea what I'm doing. But honestly, cutting your hair is like a thrill. Like cutting it yourself is really thrilling.
No.
It's unmatched. Like there's something about it. I thoroughly enjoyed it, even
Oh
though
my
I
God.
probably.
Yeah, no, I
No.
enjoy it too. It's why I'm basically, for months now, I'm basically, even right now, like I'm still currently in the middle of a long, continuous, ongoing haircut.
Yes.
That's happening. So did you do
No.
yours in one go? So you're saying it was like a one day, like I did it, or have you been touching it up? Have you gone back to it?
Well, initially it was sort of like a one, like, yeah, I sort of did it all in one sitting. Like my hair was a little bit longer, and I wanted like the kind of little bangs up here, so I started with that, and then I got a little too scissor happy, and I was like, I can cut layers.
Oh no.
I've never done hair ever. Like, I don't know why I thought that. So I started going, and I was like, it doesn't look right. Like after I finished, I was like, it looks kind of okay if I style it. So I had to go in the next day, and I ended up actually cutting off quite a bit of length to match where I had cut the layers. And you know what? It looked good after that. I can't straighten my hair though, because then you can see how messed up it is. You can really see that it's not even. So
Oh my
it
God.
has to remain curled or wavy in some form.
Oh my God. Do you know that hairstylist, Brad? I think it's Brad Mondo or something like that.
Yeah, Brad Moss.
So-
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've been watching all of his videos where he reacts to certain people, like to different people doing certain things to their hair and just how much of an epic fail it is. So when you guys talk about cutting your own hair, I'm like, oh, I can't. I've watched too many horror videos to even attempt to cut my own hair.
It's fair. I was really nervous when I did it, but I was like, you know what? I'm inside. Like, no one's gonna see me. It's fine. And it did take a little while to kind of grow out the front pieces that were looking kind of funny. But
Yeah, that's the thing. I do feel with guys' hair, I feel like there's a little bit less pressure, because my issue, it's the same thing. Like I was looking at my girlfriend's hair, but like the
Did you
problem
cut
that
her
I don't
hair?
know. No, she wouldn't even let me
Okay,
near.
good.
But the thing is, I don't even think I would want to, because I don't know. Like with guys' hair, generally speaking, it's like it's a little bit shorter on the sides and longer on the top. And if you kind of do that, that's it. You're almost just following the shape of your head in a lot of ways,
yeah.
you know.
Mhm.
But with girls' hair, because it's hanging loose, right? I wouldn't know, like, okay, I'm gonna put layers, but where would one layer start? You know what I mean? Like, I don't understand what my reference would be.
Exactly.
So for me, it would be more scary. But then at the same time, because it's longer, you have more margin for error. Like if you start down here,
Oh,
and then,
yeah.
like, that doesn't work. So
No,
but-
no,
You just have to keep going. If you mess up and like it looks bad, like you're just gonna have to cut off more, which is
I'm just
what
gonna
happened
message.
to me.
I'm gonna message your girlfriend after this and be like, "Hide the scissors. He's coming for your hair."
He's thinking about it.
it
He's
has
watching
crossed
your
my
hair.
mind. It has crossed my mind, because I've been like, well, because so she'd be like, oh, I want to get a haircut. Like it's getting so heavy, and and less manageable. And I'm looking at him like,
I could do that.
I just cut off this piece here.
I can loan you my fabric shears so you don't have to use the kitchen scissors.
I'm going to
Perfect.
message her right after this. Hide all the scissors in your
Well,
apartment.
Did you see the video online? There was a video of a guy who used sheep shears to cut his hair.
What?
Yeah, and he was like, it was really, it's one like a 5-second video. He was like, here's how you cut your hair. And he has these sheep shears and they're gigantic. And he was just like, and then he like looks and I was like, hey, it actually looks pretty good. He did it in like 5 seconds. But
Wow.
yeah, I would be nervous about removing my ear. But
Yeah, that's really terrifying.
yes.
He's probably done it before, so he was like, "Yeah, I got this."
Yeah, and plus, if he's usually cutting it with sheep, he's probably pretty good with those things.
Yeah, he's probably pretty careful.
Yeah,
It's just
because
there needs.
oh yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I said there needs to be like a little warning at the bottom that says like, "Don't try this at home."
Don't try this out.
Yes.
Yeah, Scott,
I mean,
do not
fortunately,
try this out.
well, most people luckily probably don't have sheep shears on there.
I mean, I bet you, if you
never
check
know.
Amazon, it might be.
So do you think after watching that video, like there was like this boost in sheep shears sales because people were like, ah.
I mean,
Can't
if
say
you
for
look at
certain.
TikTok, yeah,
You could-
TikTok, you post that video. Oh my God, all the sheep shears are gone.
Yeah, TikTok is crazy with that. Like I saw a video about a mascara at Shoppers Drug Mart. It has been sold out for weeks. I every time I go into Shoppers, I look for it. I finally got it. There was one left in stock. And I think it's been like 6 or 7 weeks since that blew up, and it's still out of stock everywhere I go.
It's like
All
the
because
Kat
it
Von
got-
D foundation. It's
Yeah.
all sold out.
So it's
I got
because it got
one,
popular on TikTok.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And I have to wonder because sometimes I think that some of those videos are like paid advertisements and they're not being disclosed because TikTok does have a problem with that. And I'm just sort of waiting for when I think it's like the FTC in the States is like going to crack down on that because they did that with Instagram and YouTube with because you have to be really clear about if something you're doing is sponsored, and I see a lot of videos and there's no like hashtag ad. It doesn't say like this is a sponsored post. So
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
at least disclose that it's not
well, by law you're supposed to. But yeah, I think you're right. I think it's just because it's a newer platform, and so you've got it's especially the case if you got a lot of people who this is like their first experience like blowing up on social media, and you're getting a lot of new creators, young people, and then they're probably like they don't know the ins and outs, and then I'm sure there's a ton of that on there. So
But okay, have you ever purchased something? Because Scott, clearly Teaghan and I both have. Have you ever purchased something because you saw it on TikTok?
have I purchased something
Or tried something?
Yeah. So in fact, actually, I kind of wanted to talk about this, but
Perfect.
but
Here we go.
yeah, but if I could, actually, wait, we're right at the 30-minute mark. Wait, why don't we do the ads, and then we'll come back and talk about
your
TikTok.
cliffhangers.
Yeah, but let's do it because I just happened to look at the clock because usually we try to do the ads at the 30-minute mark, but like lately we've been like really neglecting it because we get so into the conversation. But I happen to look at the chat right now. I mean, look at the clock right now, and might as well. Let's do the ads, and then we're gonna come back and talk about TikTok because I do have some stuff I want to talk about. Cliffhanger. Ladies and gentlemen, today's episode of The Sit Down was brought to you by some very important people, right, Regine?
Mm-hmm.
They are, of course, our advertisers. They make the show possible, right, Regine? They do.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Regine.
Yes, Scott.
Do you want to find out what your home is really worth?
Maybe.
Are you buying, selling, investing, or renting a home?
Yes.
Then Jennifer C., Realtor at Home Life Culture Link, is here to help. Call or text Jennifer today at 647-403-8887. Don't deal with just anyone. Speak to a professional. Jennifer C. at Home Life Culture Link. To see her current listings, visit homelifeculturelink.com. Nino Simeka, mortgage agent. The Mortgage Godfather is here to give you advice with any mortgage needs you may have, and he will shop to find you the best mortgage. Nino Simeka, mortgage agent. He'll give you an offer you can't refuse. He'll give you an offer you can't refuse, Regine. Find out more at mortgagegodfather.ca or call 905-604-6955. Jewelry forever. Conveniently located at CF Markville Shopping Center on 5000 Highway 7 East Markham. They do custom-made jewelry, repairs, and change watch batteries, all done on site. And we have a special deal worked out with them, don't we, Regine?
We do. If you guys go and tell them once lockdown is over that Scott and Regine sent you, you'll get 15% off your entire purchase.
That's right. 15% off. 15%. And Jerry over at Jewelry Forever is an absolute, artist. He makes custom jewelry. He makes amazing things. So check it out. Find out more at jewelryforever.ca. And it was brought to you by Deliciousness Treats.
Hot chocolate bombs, smash cakes, dipped Oreos, and more. If you're looking for dipped Oreos, we're actually now shipping them all across Canada. So make sure you check us out on Instagram at deliciousness_treats and on Facebook at Deliciousness Treats.
Deliciousness Treats, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely deliciousness. Obviously, as we were just talking about, this is an ad, obviously. And obviously, Regina and I know each other personally, but I've still tasted those chocolate bombs, those hot chocolate bombs, and they are
Deliciousness?
the bomb. Deliciousness. The bomb. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Deliciousness Treats. Sweet treats for you and a friend in a mug. If you would like to advertise on the show, everybody, it's very easy, right, Regine?
It's simple. All you guys have to do is email us at radioshowad. That's radioshowad@gmail.com.
That's right. We do this show live every week, ladies and gentlemen, and we do the ads live every week, which means you can personalize them week to week. Do you have an event or something happening at a particular time and place? All you got to do is let us know. We let your potential client base know in real time. It's an amazing way to build a brand new relationship with a potential client base. It's amazing. It's wonderful. It's like magic. Get in touch. Radio Show Ad, Radio Show AD at gmail.com. And we're back. Welcome back, everybody. Oh, John Jordy was asking, do you have a YouTube channel, Teaghan? And if you do, he wants it so he can subscribe to you.
I do have a YouTube channel, but I haven't uploaded in a while. But it's just Teaghan Young on YouTube. Yeah,
cool.
If you search it, it should be the first one that comes up.
Sweet.
But yeah, I haven't uploaded in a while, but I'm gonna try to soon.
All right,
Stay tuned.
There you go, John Jordy. So
Scott.
Talk. Well, no, I did want to ask because I'm glad we kind of fell into the
answer
subject.
my question first. Don't
what
ask
was your question?
questions. Oh my
was your
God,
question?
you left
What
us on
have
a
you bought from
cliffhanger.
TikTok?
Oh yeah, well this is kind of what I want to
How
talk about.
rude. Yeah.
So I have not purchased anything directly because of TikTok, but the thing that has been hitting me with TikTok is I've been getting like little bits of knowledge or like ways that people do things, and there's a few of them that I have started doing, and it's literally
Like
just
what?
because of TikTok. So have you guys seen the one where people poach eggs in the microwave?
Ew.
No, I haven't.
So you take a measuring cup, glass one,
Uh-huh.
put water,
Uh-huh.
you add a little bit of vinegar,
Uh-huh.
you throw in your egg, you
Uh-huh.
put it in the microwave for on TikTok it says 90 seconds. Poached egg.
Huh.
But
Yeah.
don't you have to like swirl the water and then drop the egg?
No.
But I guess
mean,
you don't
I'm
have
not an
to
egg
'cause
person.
It's already in the mug, so it's already in the shape. Interesting. I'm
Now,
gonna try that.
So here's the thing. Here's what I found is obviously because I've made it several times now, like because I have eggs every morning for breakfast. And so what I found with this thing is, so one, I like to cook 2 eggs. So you have to increase your microwave time, but also like even when I tried 1 egg at 90 seconds for my microwave, it wasn't ready. It wasn't cooked enough. So you kind of will have to like experiment. So what I put is, I put it in, I fill it with water, two cups worth. Then I put in a cap full of vinegar, around a tablespoon probably. Add in your eggs, and then you're just gonna have to watch. Like what I found is just put it. My sweet spot now seems to be 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So you just watch it and it spins around, and then slowly it turns white. And then the only thing I do find is like before that I would regularly poach eggs on the stove, and I'm better at it like that because I find it's more consistent. Like when I put it for 4 minutes on the lower heat, and then it's perfect. Whereas I find with the microwave, sometimes it's more cooked, sometimes it's less cooked. Yeah. But it is still like something that, because you can't beat the cook time, right? Because you don't have to wait for the water to boil. You don't have to. You just and you're eating,
and you're ready. You're ready.
You're ready to go. Yeah.
Well, I'm definitely gonna have to try that. TikTok is a wealth of knowledge. I've learned so much from TikTok. It feels weird to say because I was really hesitant to download it at first.
Same.
The girl I used to babysit, I think she's 11 now. But she was really into it, and like she was like teaching me all these dances, and I was like, oh, this is fun. But like, I just thought, oh, this is just like an app for kids, right? Like this is just, it's gonna be all teenagers and like kids and whatever. And I downloaded it and I was like, oh my god, like there's like people remodeling their houses and doing crafts and making like tutorials for things. And like I got back into sewing during quarantine, and there are so many sewing tutorials on TikTok. Just little ones, which are like perfect for me because I don't like sitting down and watching like a really long tutorial video. I'm like, just tell me the information that I need to know so I can do it right now.
Yeah.
And it's been great for that. Yeah.
That's the thing. I was the same, because when you watch even like Tutorial mentions in the chat here, he goes, TikTok has some really dumb challenges. For example, the skull slimmer challenge, the Tylenol. I've never heard of these. The Tylenol challenge.
I've never heard of that.
So there's a whole bunch of them.
A different place of TikTok. I think there's kind of two sides of TikTok. There's like the
tutorials.
There's like the fun like learny side, and then there's like the mainstream kind of.
Well, the thing about it is it's not even that there are two sides. There are so many sides. And
yes, yeah.
What I've heard about is that the algorithm in TikTok is just very, very good. And that so when you first start watching stuff, I mean, it's creepy, and all social media is like this, but like the way you watch, it's like anything that you watch the whole video of, the algorithm goes, oh, this person liked that, and so you're going to get more of that. So just by scrolling through and like, oh, that looks boring. Oh, that's kind of funny. Oh, that's kind of funny. Oh, I like that. Oh, that's interesting. Just by doing that, within a short amount of time, the algorithm you'll start to just see things that are tailored to you very, very quickly.
Yeah.
So, and I agree what you're saying. Like it's the best one in just getting to the point, because like the videos are like at the very most like a minute. I mean, they've got some longer ones now, but so yeah, if you want like a tutorial on something or anything like that, it's like, here it is in 30 seconds. Here's how to do that thing, and I'm like, yeah, it's amazing.
Well, that's the only reason why I got TikTok, because everyone knows that I was like, nope. I think I was like, get me to 100 subs and I'll get a TikTok. And so I was like, well, here we go. I didn't even know how to use it. Okay, I don't even know how to upload. I just know how to watch videos, and I'm like, all right, I'll just watch videos. And now, like you said, with like your For You page, it's all children getting cheese thrown at their faces.
Because that's what you like.
That's what I like to
you
watch.
Want to
But have you seen those where like it's either like a baby just sitting there and then the mom like throws sliced cheese on their face, or like they do it to a dog and the dog's like, what the hell?
I've seen that to like dogs and cats, which I think is mean. I like the it's kind of
baby.
Funny,
the baby's just sitting there.
Babies, I'm like fine with. That's like,
And the baby usually laughs after.
No, they're like, what the hell?
We can bully the baby a little bit.
I did see one where the baby looks genuinely very confused. Like they don't really understand what just happened.
I would be confused if someone threw cheese in my face.
Okay, so when I'm in the studio again, Teaghan, watch out.
Right before I walk in.
Oh, you know what's another one? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I was just gonna say what Yeah. Well, I was just gonna say another one I saw on TikTok that's changed is that, in fact, I'm not even 100% sure it's true, although I think it is apparently when you brush your teeth, you're not supposed to rinse your mouth after.
What?
Huh?
I don't know about that. I don't know about
That's
all that.
gross.
Yeah, so there was there was some guy being interviewed who has he's a TikToker and he's got really white teeth, and one of the things he just mentions is like, yeah, after you brush your teeth, you spit out the excess, but then the remaining toothpaste,
Ew.
you just let it be there. You just let it be there, and the fluoride and stuff is able to work longer.
Ew.
See, this is the other thing about TikTok is you can learn a lot, but I saw someone say this is like just because it sounds right doesn't mean it is, and I think I've encountered that a lot.
So this is one of the ones that I saw, and I was like, is that real?
Yeah.
And then I saw H3
Ew, and then
Productions,
you tried
the
it.
H3 podcast. They were talking about the same thing, and they were like, yeah, apparently that's true. So that's
Did you
two
try
sources
it?
now I've seen it. I have been trying it, and you know what I find?
Ew.
It's like no, but it's.
Show us your teeth.
I'm not sure. You know what the problem is? What I find is so there are two things. First thing, I was like, I read the toothpaste tube, right?
Mhm.
And what I've noticed is some toothpaste actually doesn't even have instructions. But the toothpaste I was using, it's Sensodyne. There's
Not
instructions.
advertised, by the way.
Yeah, sponsor
Not
us,
an ad.
Sensodyne. Come on, huh?
Come on.
Anyway, but so the instructions say, I can't even remember. It says like, brush your teeth for I think it was like, you brush your teeth for at least a minute, whatever, and all. But it does not say rinse.
That's gross.
It does not say rinse.
This is like Matt's worst nightmare. He hates the taste of toothpaste so much. Like
Ooh.
that if I tell him this, he might
He's
explode.
watching. He's watching.
He's
Oh yeah, that's right. He has,
He's-
oh yeah,
he's
there
in
he
the
is. Oh, he's
chat.
helping. He's
That's
helping
so
John
weird,
Jordy
because he's
helping
in the
John
other
Jordy.
room.
Oh, nice.
Right.
Well, because
Hi,
John
Matt.
Jordy was trying to find your YouTube channel and he couldn't find it, but I think you spelled your name wrong, so he was.
How
helping
can
him
I
spell it.
how can I send you a link to it? Can I do
Matt
that really
already
quick?
helped him. Don't worry.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Oh,
I can.
thanks, Matt.
I can also, in fact, here. I can add your.
Put it in the
I can
description,
add
Scott.
your. Let me see.
And while you're at it, rinse your mouth out.
Is it Teaghan Scarlett Young? That one?
Yes, it is. Because I made this YouTube channel when I was, I think, 11, and originally the
cute.
name was Tiny Canadian Live, which
Oh yeah,
is
that's
so
still the
embarrassing.
that's still
Yeah.
the link actually.
I was like, when you asked me earlier, I was like, oh no, I don't want to say that. Like, just Google
And you
it.
kind of, I don't think you can change it yet until you get to a certain. Anyway.
Nope.
Okay, I just added her YouTube link is now in the description. There you go. So John Jordy, the link is in the description down below. But anyway, what I'll say about the teeth thing is, so you brush your teeth, spit it out. But once you spit out all the excess, all you really have is like a minty, fresh taste in your mouth. Now, I would avoid like eating right after that, but like I do find it just kind of goes away in like 15 minutes or something.
Well, Matt would beg to differ. He's very.
Mrs. Brown
dramatic
is in the
about
chat.
cheese.
Mrs. Brown, how do you feel about your son brushing his teeth and not rinsing his mouth out?
Yeah. Well, here's the other problem, right? Here's the problem, is that I have been brushing my teeth and rinsing my mouth my entire life, right? And so a lot of that stuff that you do when you do is like it's autopilot, right? So there are times when even if I'm like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna rinse my mouth, I'll like be thinking about something else, brushing my teeth, and I'll suddenly like notice that like I just like filled the water, spit it out, and be like, but I did it all on like autopilot because I didn't even
You
think
know
about it.
what?
But
My cousins, they actually started their own business with an electrical toothbrush. I'm going to ask them because they've obviously done their
Ask them.
research on the proper way to brush your teeth. I'm going to plug it in. Check out Wavy. It's Wavee, an electric toothbrush that's connected to a wireless speaker, a Bluetooth speaker with Alexa built into it. But anyways,
What?
yeah. So I'm going to reach out to them. I'll be like, because they've done their research. They've spoken to a bunch of different dentists to see what the proper way is to brush your teeth. I'll
There
get
you
back
go.
to you.
Oh, all right. All
But like
right.
thinking about it logically, it makes sense.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, because you brush your teeth and now you've got all this fluoride in your mouth. If you rinse it out immediately, it's obviously not going to be as effective as if it was
This-
there a little longer.
But at
This
the
reminds
dentist,
me. Oh, I was just gonna say this reminds me of a couple years ago when that report was released that said like you don't really need to floss your teeth, and everyone was like, "See, haha, you don't have to floss your teeth." And then somebody, like some dentist on Twitter, I think, was like, "Just because you don't have to doesn't mean you shouldn't."
Yes, yes. But the thing about it, I
Scott,
feel like
do you
this.
floss your teeth?
I do. I actually do.
Okay.
I floss my teeth twice a day.
But do
So-
you brush your
Wow.
teeth before or after?
After.
Okay.
I think you're supposed to do. I think that's the order. I think you're supposed to floss first, so you get all the big stuff out, and then you
You have
and it
big stuff in
loosens
your
things,
teeth.
giant things, whole meals. No, so you get it out, and then
Ew.
and then once it loosens, then your
Midnight
toothbrush loosens it up.
Mm.
Okay, maybe we should. So, like I said, I've heard now from 2 different places now about this not rinsing the mouth business.
Mhm.
hmm
Maybe because we should put a disclaimer. This could be completely wrong. Maybe we're spreading misinformation right now.
We're
Maybe
not.
Someone
You
Google
are.
it.
Thing
No,
is, we'll
for those
Google
who
it.
are
Like, where's it gonna go?
watching-
Where?
Those who are watching in the comments, do you rinse your mouth out after you brush your teeth?
Well, I'm
Yes
sure
or
they
no?
do,
And
unless-
go.
Here's the thing, because that's the interesting thing, right? Is like when you go to Bed Bath and Beyond, right?
Mhm.
And you're
So
buying
random.
you're
Not
and you're
sponsored.
buying you're
by
like
the way.
yeah we're saying all these brands this episode anyway, and you're buying like your bathroom things, right? You buy like
Mhm.
your little toilet paper holder, you buy your little thingies to hold your toothbrushes, and you buy the things for your cotton balls and your swabs,
You can also get that
and
at
you
the dollar
buy a
store.
cup, right? They always sell the cup for the washroom. So this has been like a regular part of
Scott
our
rinse your
life.
It's just an
Right?
unconscious habit. I mean,
Wait,
yeah, it's one of those things that we've just started to do, but it's like, yeah, if you think about it, it's like, why?
wait,
Why?
Scott, read the comment
What?
from your father, please.
That's just, hello, Scott. Rinse your mouth out. Well, I have been, but you know what they say? Apparently, we've been doing it wrong. Now,
Can you tell
wouldn't
your
the
parents they were
toothpaste?
wrong?
Wouldn't the toothpaste have in the instructions to rinse your mouth out?
Do you want me to check right now? I have a bunch of toothpaste in the cupboard.
If you have it standing by, I would be interested, actually.
I'll be back. Take the
Mhm.
screen off of me. I'll be back. Go
oh,
talk
tutorial.
to
I have
you.
52 subscribers on YouTube, but on TikTok I have more than 2K. Congrats, tutorial. Well done. Well done. Oh, Matt says, Scott, love the Twilight Princess poster. Thanks. It's actually not a poster. It's actually it's like hanging. It like rolls up, and you can see there's like a stick on the bottom. It's made out of like, it's not fabric, but it's made out of like a something a bit more. Not, it's not paper. It's nice. Okay, Regine,
Where'd
you
you
have
get it?
toothpaste.
I have 2 different brands of toothpaste.
Okay.
Okay. I
What-
got
okay.
Colgate
Are there
and
instructions?
Crest.
Are there instructions? Let's see what
I
it
don't
says.
know.
I want to
Just
get to the
says, do
bottom
not
of this.
swallow.
Yeah, you should definitely not swallow it. Yes. Yes.
Children under 6 years of age should only use a pea-sized amount and should be supervised while brushing their teeth.
Sure.
Well, next.
Yep.
Or is it on the actual bottle?
Could be on the actual bottle.
Well, this was anticlimactic. Let's try.
Because you definitely shouldn't swallow it. So like what I heard is you brush and then you just spit out all the excess. So there's basically just like a little coat a bit around your teeth.
But is that not like the fluoride thing? Is that not what mouthwash is for?
Mm. Do you
is there
use
fluoride
mouthwash?
in- I do sometimes.
Do you want me to check mine too?
I do sometimes.
Okay.
That's true, because if you mouthwash right after, then your mouthwash would be rinsing away the toothpaste. Anyway, I don't know. Is there fluoride in mouthwash? There must be.
There isn't
Okay.
some.
Doesn't
It
sound.
actually is on the bottom. It says
Okay.
recommended for adults and children over 2 years. Brush teeth thoroughly, preferably after each meal, at least twice a day, or as directed by a healthcare practitioner. Do not swallow.
But
And
it doesn't say rinse.
But it also doesn't say not to rinse.
Because
It says do not swallow.
Yeah. And the
So you
more
still have to
words they
spit
have
it
to put
out.
on the packet, the more they have to pay for the packaging. So
Yeah.
I
But
can't
they
believe I
wouldn't
just
tell
opened
you.
all of this.
Basically, they tell you to do the important things. They're like, don't eat this,
don't.
right?
It doesn't say anything else on here. This one just says
See?
do not swallow.
Wow.
But you still have to spit it out regardless. But it doesn't
Okay.
say. Do you want
Yeah,
me to
I mean,
call
that's
my
true. It doesn't
cousins
say
right now?
spit it
Do you
out.
want me to
It-
call a friend and be like, hey, question. We got to get down to the bottom of this.
I mean,
I'm using my phone, so I can't call and be on air at the same time.
Yeah. we'll get to the bottom of this. You know what, guys? We're gonna
Stay
dive in
tuned
and get
to
to the
next
bottom of
week.
this because I think we've got you know what? We're onto something big.
So
All right.
Teaghan,
We're about to crack the conspiracy. Yes.
yes. So we have you on here because you do have something you want to talk about, not just brushing your teeth.
Yeah.
Wait, it wasn't
Uh,
about. It wasn't about. Anyway, yeah. No, go ahead.
Well, yeah. I guess I just wanted to talk a little bit about my sort of, as it says in my bio, I've gotten a little more interested in learning about people with learning disabilities or developmental disabilities in the film industry. Unfortunately, earlier, I guess, no, it's 2021 now. The months are blurring together. Last year, I had a situation where I disclosed to a professional in the industry that I had ADHD, and my ability to work on set was questioned, and my ability
What?
to audition was questioned. And it was really weird because I've known for a very long time that I've had ADHD. I was actually taken in for a screening when I was a kid, and I was misdiagnosed with something else because it presents a little bit differently in women than in men. My brother was diagnosed when he was younger, but people tend to categorize it by the hyperactivity type, right? So, you know, like there's sort of this like, I think when people think of ADHD, they think of like a little boy who's just like going crazy, you know, like can't sit still, you know, is kind of like bouncing off the walls. But there's actually 3 types of ADHD. So there's hyperactive, inattentive, and then combined. And I have like combined with the kind of inattentive type. So it's more like I have a really hard time like focusing on things, and like in school, like if I didn't sit at the front of the class, I was like, there's nothing that's gonna get done today. Like if it's not right in front of me, it's not happening. So I was officially diagnosed last year, and you know, was able to start, you know, on some treatment, and it was great, and I was like feeling really good. And then I disclosed to this person, you know, within the industry that I had it, and the reaction was, it was so strange. Because I've never had, you know, somebody question my ability to do my job based off of, you know, something that I can't really control. And I think it's because, you know, it's one of those things it's widely known, but it's not kind of widely understood by a lot of people. You know, I think so. Yeah. Basically, like that was really shocking for me, because I was like, oh well, you know, in the future, should I not tell people this? Like, is this something that I should keep on the down low? But then, you know, I thought about it, and I was like, no, like that sucks, because and this was around the time that, I don't know if you guys were familiar with the controversy around Sia's movie Music.
Yeah, I did hear a little bit about that. Yeah, about one of the characters, the way they're just depicted or something, right? I can't remember the details, but yeah.
So the movie is about a 14-year-old autistic girl, and the actor who played her was not autistic. and really nothing on the actor. She was very young when that happened. But yeah, there was a lot of criticism. There are a lot of autistic, just a lot of neurodivergent people kind of speaking out and being like, hey, like it's not cool that you are not, having somebody tell this story authentically, like who you like with stories about like autism, which is something that's really kind of it's something that's a part of you, like that's so integral, it affects every aspect of your life. Like you need to have an autistic actor playing that role, because anything other than that is just going to be a caricature, and it's not going to be true to what autism is. And so people had some concerns, and the response to those concerns was not great. It kind of reignited the discussion around around kind of casting neurodivergent actors and like the ways that the industry is kind of inaccessible in that regard. There was one actor that tweeted to Sia and said, just expressed her concerns about it and said, like, there's tons of us that are willing to audition for you. And her response was, well, like, maybe you're just not a very good actor.
Oh.
which is not no. Like, of course, not a great way to respond to like valid criticism. Also, the film was funded partially by Autism Speaks, which many autistic people feel that they are not a great organization, and that they kind of promote the curing of autism as opposed to, kind of listening to what autistic people need and want. So this was all happening around this time that this thing happened to me. And I relate super heavily to people that have autism. There's a lot of crossover in symptoms with ADHD. Like I struggle with sensory issues, things like noise and like, some touch, and I can get really like overwhelmed super easily. So, it's basically like all of this. I was just like, how can we make the film and TV industry more accessible to people like this? Because, there's a lot of talk all the time about diversity and representation. But it kind of feels like a lot of the time, the people like kind of within the industry, they just like want the representation to like be there so they can say they did it, but they don't want to like change anything about the industry to make it more accessible. Like with with Sia's movie, for example, and she says like, oh, maybe you're just not a very good actor, or maybe you just didn't get an audition. It's like, well, why didn't they get an audition? Like, is it possibly because like of something that I ran into where I had like, because this person was representing me, so how many agents have denied people representation because of things like that, so they don't even get a chance to audition or get in the room. So yeah, it's just in terms of kind of organizations and things like that in Toronto, I couldn't really find much for kind of neurodivergent actors and things like that. So I think my plan, I guess, is just to kind of like lead by example and like just talk about it more, like make sure to be like upfront with people and be like, this is if I'm on set, like this is what I might need. It's not going to be like disruptive to the overall production. But like, these are the things, and making things more accessible just, for people who need those accommodations, it actually makes it more accessible for everybody, because like things like having, a quiet space or being able to take breaks, just regular those accommodations, like those are good for everybody. Like it makes everything better in the industry. So I'm just kind of hoping that through, you know, when I start auditioning again, and as I'm seeking new representation, that's something that I'm going to be super upfront about, and, you know, like just all the people that I interact with, get them like teach them about like what, you know, what ADHD is, what sensory processing disorder is, so that they can then pass that on to other people if they meet somebody else who's neurodivergent, and like how they can handle that. Yeah. So yeah.
Cool. Yeah, it sounds like, and what you said is true. I think there's a lot of there's a lack of knowledge about what it actually means. Like even when, like hearing the experience you had, it sounds like when you sort of disclosed your situation, it sounds like this person was they got that image that you were describing, like, oh, like the kid who can't sit still or can't pay attention or can't, you know what I mean? And it sounds like then that was just sort of being foisted on you when
exactly. And I you know, I said it, and, you know, the response was, well, how am I supposed to know that, like, if I send you to an in-person audition, or if I send you to set, that, like, you're going to be able to, like, you know, get there and, like, perform? And it's like,
oh goodness,
it doesn't make me, like, unable to do my job, which was, like, pretty insulting, because I've been doing in-person auditions for, like, 3 years. Like, you know, there's a regular amount of nerves that go into it, but I'm not just gonna, like, I don't know, suddenly start, like, running around the room or whatever. And yeah, like there were, and of course in that relationship there were some other things that were not great, but you know, it's just something that I'd like more people to understand, because I think a lot of people, you know, they don't take it very seriously. They kind of like don't understand the way that it like affects people. It's like, you know, like it affects like pretty much every aspect of my life, and like I'm able to deal with it. But I think because, you know, people with ADHD, maybe they seem like they're really like high functioning in a lot of aspects. It's like, oh, well, you can't, like, you don't look like you have like some kind of like developmental disability, right? So I think it's really important that people kind of challenge their preconceived notions about like what disability means.
Awesome. And I gotta think, if there's any industry that I feel like could make some inroads with this, it's got the film industry in general is, I think, an industry that tries to be accommodating in those ways. And so it just feels like, it sounds like the person you were speaking to, and there's probably just lots of people, maybe there's just another thing that people need to know more about.
It's and TikTok has been kind of helpful for that too, in a sense. Is there's actually a lot of great creators that both have ADHD and are also like professional, like medical professionals, like they're maybe like psychiatrists or psychologists, and, you know, offer really helpful tips and like ways to work through things and stuff. So yeah, it's great. And I one thing that I hope kind of doesn't go away after the pandemic is being able to do self-tapes, because like they're great. Like self-tapes I love doing them because they're just so like I can do it as many times as I want. Like I'm in my own home, like I've got my live-in reader here and I can make it go exactly the way that I want it every single time, which is super, super helpful. Or at least like having the option to do that would be great, because I think especially with casting situations, it can get pretty rigid with like, you know, it's like you have to do it this way and you have to do it that way. And if you mess it up even a tiny little bit, like even if it's not detrimental to the overall performance, like, you know, that can make you lose the job, which is really frustrating for like people that have, a hard time picking up details and stuff like that. And I'm understanding that, there's a time crunch with film and TV. Like everything is like super, super fast. But, if we want proper representation, we have to make the industry as a whole more accessible to those people, so that stories about, just for example, like if you're wanting to tell more stories about people with autism, you have to let more people with autism into the industry. You need more autistic writers, directors, actors, and they need to be able to function within the industry with the accommodations that they need. So it's got to be adapted in some ways. And more knowledge about it, and
Yeah, I've also I'm all on board for the self-tape audition as well. Well, the other thing that's nice about it, like you said, I mean, everything you just described, how you can get it exactly how you want it. And yeah, I've got the same, like my girlfriend is my reader as well, so it's same situation. But the other thing I find it's really nice about it though is I feel like just doing the self-tape auditions, it's almost, I feel like it's made me a better actor, because there's like a big part of it that you're kind of, there's something you can perform it in a certain way, or you can say it a certain way, but how it communicates on camera, you kind of can't know how it's going to look until you see it on camera.
Yeah. And
doing the self-tape audition, it forces you to put yourself on camera. So I've just noticed that's like, I feel like it's because I'm seeing it more, whereas before I wouldn't necessarily, if it was an in-person audition, I wouldn't necessarily film myself in advance. I maybe I go in front of a mirror, or I'll say the lines, then I just go in and do it. But I just feel like it's probably trained me more in like, okay, I'm going to hold myself a little bit more like this and like deliver this way, because I'm seeing it on camera more. I don't know. Do you find that? Do you find it's been more like, I mean, I guess you have, because it's you like it as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I definitely think that it like for me, I sometimes do, like I have a problem with fidgeting, and sometimes I do it unconsciously, like I don't even know that I'm doing it. And there are some people that I know, I heard from one casting director that said that they just absolutely hate it when people like lick their lips, and that's, I think, something that people do unconsciously. They're like that. Yeah. So being able to watch that before I go out and be like, okay, I'm doing something there, I need to stop. Now I'm aware of it, and now I can change it, and I can have like a second opportunity to see like how my body's positioned, and then I can go back and change it. And yeah, it's just like, it's nice. You don't get to see yourself in an in-person audition. You're just like, go in, maybe do it 1 or 2 times, and then they're like, cool, bye.
Yeah. And it's like, okay, hopefully that looked good. At least now you can actually send it off. Even little things like, I don't know, in my case, for example, like my hair, for example.
Well, you keep cutting it. No, I'm kidding.
I keep cutting it. But it's something that like, I find, I guess it's with everyone, if your hair sits a different way, you can look like a different person in a lot of ways. Yeah. And like how many times, like if I've had to like, get to an audition on the other side of the city, and I had to get there and fight my way to get there. I finally get in there. Maybe I'm a little sweaty. You know what I mean? You try to get yourself ready. You go in, and it's like, I'm not how I wish but at least when you're at home and you can set yourself up, you can make sure, okay, now this is the look that I wanted to show you guys. I don't know. Yeah. I like it. My guess is, because also I've got to think the casting places have to be saving a lot of money in the sense that they don't have to pay for a physical location. So my guess, if I had to predict, is you're going to see a lot more of the first audition will continue to be self-tapes, because that way they don't have to worry about, okay, this person has to be at this time, because like obviously when you only have a few, you have to pay by the hour at a casting place, and you only have a certain number of slots. Self-tapes, you can take basically as many as you're willing to watch, right? And there's no additional cost.
Yeah, exactly.
So if I had to guess, you're going to have places that initial audition, self-tape, and then the people that they like, the callback, maybe they'll go back to in person for. That's my guess.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. And I don't love the Zoom audition though. That is a fresh hell that I was not prepared for. The waiting, it's like I was like, how is this worse somehow than like waiting in an audition waiting room? Like,
yeah, because you have to. What I find is you have to, like, for starters, you have to set up your camera and stuff, and it's more technically involved. Like, so I do my auditions in this room for a Zoom. I had to do one this week, and so I set up my light. I've moved my camera back. I have to clear everything off the wall, and then you enter the waiting room, and then you just kind of got to stand there.
Yeah,
and you
so
can't
awkward.
leave, right? Because I'm like, any second now, it's gonna pop up. Although I guess you have to click turn on, but still, there's just this moment of like, okay, now I'm just waiting. Yeah, the Zoom audition is.
It's like there's something like even more nerve-wracking about it. I did a commercial audition for it was the callback, and it was for like a football club, or sorry, no, it was for a bank, and they were talking the commercial was about how they like sponsor this like football league in the UK, and I don't watch football, but I was like, I'll wear my hockey jersey just to be like, okay, sports.
Yeah.
So I get into like the breakout room, and I'm like, they're kind of talking to me, and they go, so like, are you a football fan? Do you watch like any Premier League? And I was like, no, but I'm a hockey fan. I was like, oh, why did I say that? Like, and they go, yeah, well, it's not for hockey, it's for football. And I was like, oh no, I know, I'm sorry.
Take two.
Yeah. You know, the thing that's weird about the Zoom audition too, the live one, is an in-person audition. There are nerves you have to get over, but once you're in the room, you can kind of get a feel for the room a little bit, right? Like, you're working with a reader, you can kind of bounce off of them, and like, I feel like when I walk out of an in-person audition, generally, I know if I did well or not. It doesn't necessarily know if I'm going to get the part, because who knows, but you can kind of get a feel like, okay, yeah, they liked what I did there, you know? But I find the Zoom audition, one, they're very quick, and they're very, like, even with the reader, there's like that delay, you know?
Yeah.
You're saying your lines, and you can't really see them, because where do you look? Do I look here? If I look at, I can't put my screen. Do I want to put my screen exactly on my eye line? I can't really do that because I'm standing and my screen's down here. So I'm kind of doing the scene with somebody that I can't see. And you also see like the director. It's such a strange.
It is a unique form of torture for an actor.
Yeah, it's bizarre.
Thank God I'm not an actor. No.
Oh my God.
Yeah, well, because it's worse because the self-tape's easier because I can put it anywhere. But here I have to set up the online situation, and then I'm placing my mic. There's just a whole other. I'm getting used to it. I will say, like, the Zoom audition I did this week, I think it went well.
Nice.
And the last one I did, again, I kind of gotten to like, okay, I understand what I have to do. But the first couple, it took a long time for me to. I think it's also the technical side of it also, like, so it's like, rather than being sitting here being like, okay, yeah, I'm just worried about myself. I'm worried about all these other things to make sure that they can see me and they can hear me and I can, so
exactly.
Yeah, I won't miss that when that goes away. I hope that goes away soon.
I do too.
Yeah. Self-tape, yes.
Self-tape, yes. Zoom audition, big no.
Yeah. And I've got to imagine, I can't imagine they like the casting people like it either.
I'm sure that they don't either.
Well, yeah, go ahead. Yeah, continue.
Oh, I just noticed that, the few that I have done, like, everybody seems stressed, but he seems a little on edge.
Well, like, one thing I noticed is the ones that I've been getting now, there's like a giant paragraph of instructions of what to do, and it'll say like, please download Zoom on your PC, not on a phone, because if your notifications go off during the audition, it's distracting. They're like, if you can't download it on your PC, please request a self-tape. If you can't, and please make sure that you're in there 10 minutes before your audition. Please check your mic beforehand. Please check. And I'm reading this,
Wow.
and I'm like, these instructions are here because all of these things that they're describing
Yeah.
have happened, right?
Yeah.
So you just got to imagine you've got a whole bunch of people being like, "Hi, can you hear me? Can you guys see me? Oh, my microphone is off. Okay, hang on. Okay, can you guys see me now? Okay."
And ding, ding in the middle of the audition.
Yeah. And again, it's the same situation. Fine, they're saving money on a physical space, but still, if they're going through a casting place, they're probably still paying a fee, right? I don't know how they would charge, probably by the hour, I guess, or whatever they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got to think how much time's getting eaten up by all of that.
By all of the technical snags and everything, and having to make sure that I'm sure there's tons of people who missed their Zoom auditions because they read it wrong, or maybe their Wi-Fi went out. Like there's so many things that can go wrong with it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Well, I find even with this show, I mean, it's why. I mean,
Whoops.
we've pretty much got it down now. Like we've figured it out, But again, it's also, well, like in your case, so we told you to come on 10 minutes before, and we have that because we need to make sure everything's working, right? Now you can imagine if you need to budget an extra 5 minutes per actor.
Oof.
To make sure that the tech is working for the audition, right? Like that adds up really, really fast.
Yeah.
And then even that's all assuming that it goes well, like that there's nothing wrong, right?
Exactly. Oh my god.
Yeah. It's a headache. Anyways.
So
yes.
Teaghan, going back to what you were initially talking about with what your goals are in terms of making it more accessible for people with a disability or a learning disability, what do you want to see done exactly?
Well, I would like to see more casting agencies, working with not casting agencies, just agencies in general, for representation for actors. I would love to see, more neurodivergence on the roster, and making an effort to speak with those actors about what they need, as opposed to there's lots of great organizations for things like that can give you information, but the source you want to go to is the person that has the thing. They'll be able to tell you exactly what they need. I would definitely love to see, with auditions, having that option to do a self-tape, because sometimes in-person auditions can be kind of difficult for me, just depending on the environment, because I don't always know what I'm walking into. Is the waiting room going to be quiet? Is it going to be too cold in there? Is it going to be really hot? And it can be challenging, especially if I go into a situation and I get, maybe kind of sensory overload. I'm like, oh no, I don't know if I can I'm not sure if I can kind of give my best performance here. So, deferring to neurodivergent people on what they need, and making agencies and casting places a safe space to be able to disclose that without judgment. And of course, understanding needs to come with that. People need to understand what it is, because I think sometimes a lot of when you're describing to somebody what you might need, people can kind of take it as oh, you're just making excuses for why you can't do something. So I think it's really important for people to understand what it is and how it affects a person. Being able to especially for myself, and I know other people with autism and ADHD, social cues can be a little bit difficult sometimes. So again, that just comes down to understanding, because it can feel kind of upsetting, you know, if you go into an audition and like maybe you kind of misread the situation a little bit, and then you leave feeling like, oh no, what if they're never gonna like see me again? So yeah, I don't know, and that's kind of a hard one to change, because that one kind of relies on the individual in that situation. So I think we need more people in the industry in general that are just more understanding of those cases. And in terms of like set stuff, it would, you know, having a quiet place for the actor to go if they're getting like overwhelmed, like if they're not needed in a particular scene. Like I've had instances and this is like smaller sets, it's not like really a big deal, but like where I've been like waiting around for like a really long time and I'm not actually like needed, and then I get kind of like it becomes a little bit too much for me, and then, you know, by the time I'm ready, maybe I'm like a little more on edge, or I'm not like feeling so great, I'm feeling kind of anxious. So having that the ability to maybe have some kind of like you know, noise canceling headphones or like earplugs or something, just to kind of limit the sensory aspect of things, because sets can get kind of crazy, like there's tons of stuff moving, and just little things like that. And I don't know, yeah, maybe in the future I might try to put together a group make a neurodivergent actors group. I did look a little bit on like Facebook to see if there was anything like that, but I couldn't find anything. So if anybody watching knows of any organizations like that, I'd love to join. Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like there's just, I mean, I guess it's like anything. There just needs to be a lot more knowledge about it.
Yeah, we just gotta talk about it.
Because even like all the things you just described, like none of those are even most sets have the capability of doing that with almost not even really changing anything. Like even like, because I don't know, again, I guess depending on the size of the production, depending on the size of whatever, like most sets have like a green room or an area where they would put the actors to be, and it's usually away from the set. So a lot of times it might even just be a matter of not having somebody sitting on the set when they don't need to be there, which usually they shouldn't be doing that anyways. So, but I think like what you're saying, yeah, it's really just an awareness so that people understand what these things that these are issues that should be addressed, but they don't. None of the solutions to those problems sound like any even major changes would need to be made in terms of like what's already available. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's more of just like, I think it's like an it's an attitude about people, because I think a lot of people have kind of preconceived notions about things like ADHD and autism. And that can create barriers within the industry in terms of like getting to where you need to go, like you know, again, like being misunderstood in situations where that's something that's out of your it's kind of something that's out of your control. I think in general they're having just a little more kind of compassion within industry professionals would be good. And yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, that's compassion. Yeah. And I just think it's, like I said, I mean, especially the film industry being how it is, I think most people in the industry and the way the industry is structured, it's designed like thinking just straight with like the food situation, right? Like there aren't most offices like where the food is available or whatever, like with film, like they have every dietary restriction you can think of. They've always got like a food option for that person. They've got like multiple types of milk. They've got multiple types of everything. So that's what I mean. Like I don't feel like it's an industry that's not willing to. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Sorry. A quick side note. Would I be able to go pee really quick?
Oh yeah. Yes, go right ahead. Go right ahead.
Like, sorry. I will just turn off my camera really quick.
That's fine. We you don't have to.
No
We're
worries,
on the.
no worries.
We'll go to the split screen, so it's just
Okay.
the two of us.
All
But
right.
yeah, we
Love
are
that.
actually. That's true. We have been going for like an hour and a half. When she gets back, we'll talk about gaming a little bit because I know she's been doing a lot of gaming as well. But yeah, interesting.
Topic.
Yeah, well, it's yeah. I mean, and I think what she's. I mean, I think it's terrible what happened with the I don't know. It just sounds like an ignorant person she was talking to, or like
Yeah, that's why when she sent me the bio and the topics that you want to talk about, I'm like, yes, let's talk about it because it.
Yeah.
Obviously, it does not get spoken about as much. So I think it's good that she's using her voice and this platform really to talk about it.
Yeah. You know what it reminds me of? It kind of reminds me of like, I don't know, like once upon a time, and maybe even still to an extent, but like if you're somebody who like, well, like let's stick with the food thing. If you say that you have, say, like a dietary, like you're a vegetarian or something, right? And then you'll get people who will like, you know, who eat meat, who will give you like a hard time or something. It kind of felt a little bit like that type of thing, which isn't a big deal, but it becomes a big deal if it like affects your ability to work. You know what I mean? Like it's like, you're like that. Okay, well, no, I don't think you should be. You know.
Well, yeah, it's like when people started coming out and being like, "Oh, I'm vegan." People are like, "Why?"
Yeah. Being vegan is hard.
Well, you're already vegetarian, so it'd be...
I'm vegetarian, but vegan is that'll be another big change. And she's back.
Hello.
Hello, welcome back. I wanted to ask. Oh, sorry, what were you gonna say?
Oh, I thought of just a couple more things in terms of what also can be done for film sets.
Oh, cool.
Things like costuming, having tags removed from costumes, because that can really bug some people. Making sure that the clothes are fitting appropriately if they're not like too tight. Taking into consideration material types for people with sensory issues. What was the one other thing that I was thinking about? It was costuming, and then and same with makeup. Getting like makeup and hair done, trying to find ways to. It's like, okay, we need to do this person's hair and makeup, but how can we do it in a way that doesn't like overstimulate them or kind of exacerbate any sensory issues they might have. So
I didn't even think about that.
Cool.
Yeah.
Those are things I wasn't aware of. Yeah.
Yeah, because that can totally affect. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say early. Gotta love live. Teaghan, I was going to ask you because earlier you had mentioned if there's an organization or group of people out there to let you know. And I know you were also considering it. Why don't you? Because you have such great ideas. You do have a platform and a following. I feel like this is something that you could potentially make your own.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to. I guess the thing that is kind of stopping me from spearheading it right away is just because it's a really big undertaking. When you're creating any form of like organization or group. So like, but I guess maybe I'm thinking about it in, too far ahead down the line. Like I could maybe start by just creating like a Discord server, like
there you go.
Where we can people can get together and talk about their experiences and.
I feel like that's basically where it starts, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
Like even the conversation we're having right now, like you're bringing up things that I feel like a lot of people just either wouldn't be aware of or never really even thought of before, or just and that is how it starts. Like it would be neat to even just have something where, or a Discord server, a Facebook group where somebody who's in the industry can like, I don't know, oh, this is like a thing. What you need is it falls on the right ears. You know what I mean? Someone's
exactly.
Like, so it's in their mind when they're like, okay, well, we're casting for this thing, and like, okay, or what things can we do in our own sets that we're, we have all this equipment, we have all these tools, but maybe we're not using them in a way that it didn't occur to us that we needed to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And another thing too is I I want to get, I want to make sure that the conversations around this stay very intersectional, because I'm a white neurodivergent person, and I am still afforded a lot more privileges than, POC neurodivergent people. They face even more barriers in getting like diagnosis and medication and stigma. And so, I would love to, collaborate with other people, some POC neurodivergent people, and just to make sure that the conversation doesn't, just tell one perspective, because there are so many different aspects to this. So yeah, it would just be starting like a Discord server and talking about it with people, and what can we kind of realistically do to implement these things. And yeah, even just talking about it is really nice, because I'm in a couple different kind of online ADHD forums. They're great for like support and just kind of like venting when you're feeling frustrated. And what I see a lot, which makes me really sad, is people talking about how they just don't feel like they can tell anybody about their ADHD, because it makes them feel like people will look at them differently. Or, there's definitely like things that people say that are kind of like, it's well-meaning, but it's not the best, like kind of inappropriate. Like, if you're telling somebody about what you experienced, they go, "Oh, well, like everyone experiences that." It's like, it's like not really it's though, so invalidating. Yeah. I'm like,
yikes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like literally like my brain did not develop in a way that can like regulate things properly. So it's like really frustrating when someone's like, "Oh, well, that's just something everyone goes through." I'm like, is it? Has a t-shirt ever made you mad? Like, have you ever been wearing a pair of pants that sent you into a rage? Like,
yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, I think, Regine, that's I'm glad you brought that up. I mean, maybe it is something as simple as
do it.
Yeah, just talking about it and bringing a place. I mean, that's the beautiful thing about social media, is that you can build communities very effectively. And I feel like maybe this is just one that you're kind of you're showing a place that's maybe been missed, or an issue that's not getting the spotlight that it should. And hey, awesome.
Yeah.
Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen.
Stay to come. Stay to come. Stay to come, everybody. No, more to come. Stay tuned.
There you go.
Yeah. The final thing I did want to ask you about was, because we talked about it briefly beforehand, is gaming, because you said you've been doing a lot of gaming during the pandemic.
Yes.
So tell us about it.
Only spanning across 2 games, really, but I got a Switch for Matt, actually, but we both share custody of the Switch.
Yeah.
And so at the start of the pandemic, I clocked in probably like 250 hours of Animal Crossing.
Whoa.
Built up a whole island, had all these things, and then one day I was just like, I'm not gonna play today. And then I did not pick it up again for like 9 months.
Wow.
And then I started playing Breath of the Wild. And I just love that game so much. There's so many things to do, and I love that you can go anywhere.
Anywhere, everywhere. If you can see a mountain, you can go climb the top of that mountain.
You can just do that. Like, it just like scratches like every itch in my brain. I'm like, I can just go this way, and I can just find something. Like, it can be anything. Yep. Like, there's a Korok seed, there's like a rock, and then you pick it up and you're just like doing another challenge. Yeah. I was telling Matt that because you know how you can do the hero's path, like you can see everywhere you've gone.
This is in the DLC, right?
I think well, I'm not sure if it's on, you might be able to have it on the regular version.
I can't remember if the hero's path thing was added after or not.
Like when you open the map, you can press, I think it's Y, and it'll literally show you your entire path. Like, it'll show you everywhere you've gone, where you've died. And mine is psychotic. Like, I literally like start the game and I just like I'm bouncing around everywhere. Like there's no like I'm not following any of the paths. I'm just like climbing random mountains and then like flying places.
You're making
Because
your own
that's how
path.
you find the stuff. That's how you find yeah.
But I know the structure of the game now, so because usually how it goes is like, you know, you'll go on the path and there's enemies and the enemies kind of get harder and harder as you sort of get to your final destination. Sometimes when I see like an area of the game like that, I'm like, I'm just gonna fly over that. So there's when you get to the, I think it's Goron City.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like super hot and you need the armor or else like you'll burst into flames and die. You're supposed to go through the path and collect the lizards and like eat the lizards, make the potion so you don't light on fire. I was like, yeah, I don't really want to do that. So I just climbed the highest rock that was near it and I flew all the way to Goron City. I just passed the whole thing. I'm like looking down at the camera and seeing all the enemies and like everything that I'm missing. I'm just like, I just want to get there and get the armor. And I had one potion that I used for when I like landed, and then I ran into the shop, bought the stuff, and then I was done.
Nice. Yeah, I'm at the point now where I've beat the game, but like once you beat the game, then you see the percentage of how much you beat once you reload. Yeah. And I beat the game, and I thought I had done I'm like we got to be at like 80%. I feel like we did everything, you know, and we were at like 20 something. And I realize now what it is Korok seeds. I've just got to find
Korok seeds. Yeah.
There's like I can't remember how many there are. It's been a long time since I played actually. Like my goal, and maybe I'll eventually go back into it, is to find them all, but there's like several hundred scattered all across the world. And with the DLC you get that mask that shakes when you're near one. But even then, I'm just so now I'm kind of at a point where I'm just hunting for Korok seeds.
Oh my god!
So
it's just like it's so fun. Like you can just find. It's also just so relaxing a lot of the time. Like sometimes I just walk around in like the fields, and I'm like, oh, the music's so nice. There's grass. I'm like, I feel like I'm outside.
Yeah, the world itself is just it's just nice to explore. It just feels a nice place to be in. I know
it's like gorgeous, like the story and like all the characters and stuff. Like it's just pleasant.
Yeah. Well, I found now I've started playing Genshin Impact. I don't know if you've heard of that game, but it's
I haven't.
It's a free game online, and it's kind of anime feeling almost, like the characters. But the reason I downloaded it was free is because it's basically, in fact, it is. It's a rip-off version of Breath of the Wild. Like the gameplay feels very similar. It's not as crisp, but it's still quite good. But it has that same feel. But it's on. I think it's actually might be on mobile as well. But I play it on PC. And but yeah, so that same thing of just feeling of just it's a nice music, and you can just walk around and hunt for things and find treasure and just.
Like I love simulator games. Like that's why I loved Animal Crossing. I was like, I'm just gonna log on and I'm gonna get some fish and I'm gonna catch some bugs and I'm just gonna talk to my villagers who are gonna say the same thing to me every time that I try, like the same amount of sentences.
Yeah, I haven't gotten into Animal Crossing yet, but I feel like that's another one I'll get super addicted to, because in fact one thing I've noticed that's been sort of scratching that itch for me is Minecraft. I don't know if you've ever played Minecraft before.
I have tried to play Minecraft. Matt has an Oculus Rift and I played it in VR, and at the first 5 minutes I was like, this is so fun, and then I started to get really sick. I was like, oh no,
the motion, right?
The motion it's really intense. But yeah, I have tried to play Minecraft before, but I was like, I struggled to like build things. I like everybody that I knew who played it was so good at building things, and I was like, I have managed to make one square of bricks. I think. Like, is it bricks?
They have bricks. There's lots of things. There's very many types of stones. I've been streaming it every week now, and it's it's just another one where, like, when I was building my house, there was just that moment of like kind of the same feeling of when you're just exploring and climbing a mountain. You're just like, I'm sitting there being like, click, click, and I'm just placing the bricks,
Wow.
one by one, building a house, you know.
It's
So-
so satisfying.
Yeah.
It's like
Can be a
I
ti-
could do this forever.
Yeah, and it takes. Yeah, that's the thing. It can kill a lot of time too. Like, it's like, whoa. Like, I mean, some of my Minecraft streams are like 5 hours long.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like,
Really?
oh yeah. And the only reason I stop is like, wow, it's kind of late, but
Like,
I would
oh.
keep going because I like this.
This is nice. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, I love just little simulator games. They're just so relaxing, and I'm going to. Well, I'm not really, but Matt's gonna help me build a PC probably this year, and he plays does like tons of PC gaming. Like I feel like he's like finding a new game to play like every day.
We'll have him
so
on
I
next
feel like,
week.
yeah, exactly. Oh my god, you guys will be able to talk about gaming for forever.
So should I not be there next week? Somebody warn me now.
Oh no. But yeah, I'm looking forward to maybe diving into PC gaming a little bit, but I'm a little bit intimidated by it.
I think. I mean, once you get because I bought a gaming PC this for largely for streaming, but also for gaming, and I didn't build one. I know that it's the best way to go, and you can also save money and really get what you want.
Mhm.
But once it's built, once you've got your PC, I mean, it's no different than any other. You know, you go on. I usually get my games on Steam, and then
Right.
yeah, and then once you have it, it's like, you know, I don't know if you're. I don't. Do you play a lot? Have you played before a lot with keyboard and mouse? That type of
No,
gaming
I haven't.
style?
That's the thing. I have never really done that style. I've only ever done it with like a controller.
The controller, yeah.
And I think maybe the only the only Steam game I think I played Among Us. And
Nice.
oh my god, it's so fun!
Well, there you go, Scott. Another person for you.
Nice. Yeah, I do Among Us streams every Thursday. If you ever want to come in and play.
Oh my god,
do it.
I actually would love that. Because I don't like. I know you can play with like random people online, but that terrifies me. I'm like, I don't know
Yeah.
if I want to talk to people that I don't really know. But
Yeah, I find the public games they aren't as good. I find with my streams we've got like there's kind of a core group of my viewers who come in. It's almost the same people every time, and then I try to get a couple special guests to join us.
right.
And we do voice chat over Discord, and we just have a fun time.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's so nice. That would be really fun.
Okay, I'll let you know. Maybe if you're available, maybe even this Thursday, but I'll let you know.
Awesome.
And yeah, this was fun.
Games. This was fun. Thank
Yeah.
you guys for having me on. This was great.
Yeah, look at that. Oh wow, we're at an hour and 44 minutes.
Oh my
So
god,
nice
yeah.
big chunky
Holy
episode.
crap.
There you go.
Chunky episode.
We talked. Oh hey, hi Cookie Dylan, welcome to the show. Hello, hi. Sorry, I didn't
Hello.
see your comment until now, but hello. Teaghan, before we say goodbye, where can people find you?
All right. You can find me on Instagram at Teaghan Young, TeaghanYoung. The Teaghan has a lot of extra letters. You can find me on TikTok at Teaghan Yegan. So it's Teaghan and then just Teaghan but with a Y. Teaghan Yegan.
Love it.
Spelled the same way, so Teaghan and then
Yep.
YEA. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, follow me on TikTok. Follow me on Instagram. And yeah, that's where I'm at.
Amazing.
Awesome. I will add. I've the YouTube link and Instagram link are in the description. I'm gonna add the TikTok as well.
Perfect.
So great. And Regine, where can people find you?
You guys can find me here on YouTube, but not this channel, my channel. Every Monday and Wednesday for the pageant sit down, I go live every Monday and Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure you check us out tomorrow. I am also on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at It's Regine Alaina. And make sure you log on or go on to my Facebook and Instagram for Ms. Galaxy Canada. There has been a huge announcement that was posted in the middle of the show, so make sure you check it out. Scott, where can people find you?
You can find me right here, where you're watching this very video. YouTube.com/Scott Dion Brown. That's the best place. But I'm also on Twitter and Instagram. I've been using Twitter less and less. And so should all of you.
I agree.
But
Yep.
I'm still there. It's just a little... I post links and things to basically videos, and this show is almost all I'm tweeting. But I'm also on Instagram. I'm also on TikTok at Scott Dion Brown Official. I don't post on there much. Maybe I will later. YouTube's still the best place. We do lots of gaming on here. I got vlogs. We got music. We got
The sit down.
unboxing videos. We got it all here. And of course, we have the sit down every week. The sit down Scott Dion Brown every Sunday at 11 here on YouTube. Hit that like button, everybody. Hit that subscribe button if you're new. Thank you all for being here. Teaghan, did you have fun?
I had so much fun. This was great. Thank you. I'm glad we were finally able to do this.
2 years later, we made it.
2 years later, we
We did it. We made it. 2 years. It was worth the wait. It was worth the wait.
made
I think it's just so funny how that happens, because I still remember, like, literally the day of the show. We got to get you guys on as your own guests. Like, you could fully be a
We're
guest.
like, why are you
know.
leaving?
We should totally do that. Yeah, let's do it. And then it's just like,
No.
And
I
then
don't
it
know.
was
That's just
like-
how life is.
there were attempts made, and then it was like scheduling, and it's like,
Exactly.
you know?
And then, yeah. But then, like you're saying, doing it online, doing it over distance it's just way easier, because you don't have to factor in any of the extra, like,
Traveling.
there's no travel time. There's no
Yeah.
so
No
I'm glad we
traffic.
made it happen.
Yeah. So
Exactly.
it all worked out. It all works out.
Exactly.
And we'll definitely have you on again in the future. Maybe
I would
whenever
love
you,
to.
anytime if you're putting out something. I know you said you're going to be working on an EP, so I would love to have you on when that's ready, or anytime you have something to promote, get in touch.
And if it's
we'd love
in
to have you on again.
person, Teaghan, just be careful. I'll have sliced cheese ready for you.
Watch for cheese.
Oh, I will
Watch
watch
for
for
cheese.
cheese, and I will also be bringing my fabric scissors
Mm.
and giving everybody haircuts.
And mouth.
Perfect.
No kidding.
And mouth-
Next episode. Next episode, everybody, when Teaghan's on, it'll be the cheese haircut
Scissors.
episode.
cheese haircut episode.
Yeah.
All right. Oh,
All right.
thank you so much, guys.
Yeah,
This was
thanks for
You're
being
so
here.
welcome.
You guys are super fun.
All
You
right,
are
everybody.
too.
You could have watched any video in the world, but you chose to watch this one, and you chose to share your Sunday morning, evening, afternoon with us, and for that we're so grateful. So we'll see you all next time, and take care, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Okay.